and good morning. In today's Coffee with Dan, I'm joined by Colonel Sudat Madugalla. He is the Deputy Director General and Head of Operations of Sri Lanka Red Cross. Today, we are going to talk about the Red Cross movement in Sri Lanka and how it assists the Sri Lankan disaster management process. Good morning to you, Colonel.
Good morning, Dan.
And it's on a very gloomy and rainy morning. We are talking about some important areas such as the disaster management and assistance that the Red Cross can give. So let me go to our first question to you. What is really mean by Red Cross?
If you talk about the Red Cross is the world's largest humanitarian organization, which started in 1863. We say our father of Red Cross is Henry Dunant. Henry Dunant formed this Red Cross to serve the most vulnerable people in the world. The global Red Cross and Red Crescent movement is an international humanitarian movement with approximately 7 million volunteers, staff, and members. We can say about 7 million staff, and altogether with the volunteers about 97 million in the world, because our membership is more than 194 countries at present. Therefore, Red Cross is there to assist most vulnerable people during the disaster and during any requirement.
Now, before I get into more detail, what does this mean by the Red Cross in your flag?
Red Cross in the flag is because when he was starting this movement, the Red Cross movement, he want to have something common for the people. Actually, it started with the cross, but that is not the real cross. Now you see, when you get the cross, you get the two lines. One line is longer than the other line, right? But now we have the proper, it's like a plus, right? That is, but now internationally everybody accept this Red Cross. That is how. When you look at the Sri Lanka Red Cross was started in 1936. 1936, we started as a branch of British Red Cross, because those days we ruled by the British. After that, independency in 1948, then we became a Lanka Red Cross. After 1971, we named as a Sri Lanka Red Cross. At present, Mr. Jagat Abesinghe, he's the president of the Red Cross. He's a volunteer. He's the number one volunteer in the Sri Lanka.
If you focus on the international ICRC, International Committee of the Red Cross, what role does it play in the international setup?
In Red Cross, there are three components. The one component is the International Committee of the Red Cross, as you said, ICRC. That is founded in 1863 in Geneva, Switzerland by Henry Dunant, right? Its 25 members committee is authorized under the international humanitarian law to protect the life and the dignity of the victims of international and internal armed conflict. That is different, right? ICRC is always work with the conflict. Even we had the conflict, during that time ICRC was actively present in Sri Lanka. But in country, right, in country you have the national society. That is called, now in Sri Lanka we call it as a Sri Lanka Red Cross Society. Still ICRC is functioning in Sri Lanka, that is with the national society. If it is a conflict, yes, for the independency, impartiality, ICRC is acting independently.
So I guess that this is what we saw during the wartime in Sri Lanka, that the ICRC was very much engaged in recovering the bodies of the dead soldiers and the other civilians, and interfering in many humanitarian work. So what sort of assistance the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society got from the international body?
Really, when this conflict started, we didn't have that much of experience in this setup. They have trained our people. And we were specialized in that, because in Sri Lanka, all over the Sri Lanka, in 25 administrative districts, you can find a Red Cross office. We are having 25 branches in 25 districts. Even during the conflict, we were able to manage in our northern branches also, because we are Red Cross family that is there. ICRC, they carry out with their mandate. So national society is very strong. You see, at the district level, we are having our branches, and we go down to the grassroots level. We have, under the district, we have the divisions and the units. Finally, we are working with the government officials, starting from district level, the highest body, that is district secretary. Then you go down to the AG, assistant government agent, and up to Grama Niladhari level. Because Red Cross is auxiliary to the government. Always, Red Cross is the auxiliary to the government.
So, if I focus more on the Red Cross or the Crescent movement as a whole, what are the fundamental principles of Red Crescent movement?
That is where the Red Cross is based on. We can say we are having 7 fundamental principles: humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, volunteer service, unity, and universality. Out of which the humanity, the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement endeavors in its international and national capacity to prevent and alleviate human suffering wherever it may be found. Its purpose is to protect life and health and to ensure respect for the human being. It promotes mutual understanding, friendship, cooperation, and lasting peace among all the people. That is the humanity. Likewise, we have the other principle also, working very much for the people. As a volunteer service, if you take the volunteer service, Red Cross is a volunteer relief movement, not prompt to in any manner by desire for gain. As an example, our volunteers are not working for anything, right? They are not expecting anything, but they work for the people. No, everybody cannot become a member of the Red Cross. You have some sort of feelings of the others, then only you can work with the Red Cross, because we are serving for the people.
Now, when we talk about the voluntary service, how do you obtain the services of volunteers in your movement?
That is, yes, that is very much important. How? Because we were initially we work with the children. We believe the children and the youth are the future leaders. Then we talk to them whenever we have a project or program in that area or district or division. We always welcome the youth and the children. Then once as a school age, when you work for the people, that feeling is with there. You want to serve for the people. As an example, you don't want to do a big thing to support the people. When elderly person, either grandmother or grandfather, wants to cross the road, if you can support him to cross the road, that is a humanitarian service. If someone goes with a heavy bag getting to the public transport, if you can help him to carry that bag into the bus, that is humanitarian assistance. When you are sitting in the public transport, if you can give your seat to the elderly person, that is humanitarian assistance. This has to be cultivated with our people. We had that. Our country had that. But nowadays it is going down. This is where the young children should work with whatever humanitarian organization.
Now, as you mentioned, there are in schools students societies of these Red Crosses. In many schools I have seen this. And when it comes to voluntary service, is there an age limit that you select these people?
Yes. With the school circles, when we are working, real attraction is first aid. What we do is we identify the children leaderships, youth leadership, and we train them in first aid. Normally, when you pass the age of 14, yes, we take them in. Whoever interested in giving the first aid, we train them as first aid assistants, right? Then they can work with us, our organization, even with the national level festivals and the activities. You would have seen at national level independence celebration, especially in Kandy Perahera, Kataragama Perahera, Red Cross is working. Other than that, at the school level, if the Red Cross circle is there, they have the Red Cross room where that's called the first aid room. Then where is any assistance required for the students in the school, they come to the first aid room and get the first aid. You see, any schools you have small casualties when the people are playing, the children are doing some sports, that can be happen. And our trained first aid student is proud to give the treatment for them. They can give a small treatment, giving a plaster or something like that. So with that, our junior circles or Red Cross circles are coming up.
22 years in Sri Lanka Army and retired as a colonel in 2005. He immediately joined Sri Lanka Red Cross with the tsunami operations in 2004. And getting back to our discussion on the Red Cross movement and its assistance towards the disaster management in the country. Colonel, what are the core areas of Sri Lanka Red Cross?
Yeah, internationally, when we are working with the Red Cross movement, there are core areas. One is, as we said, about disaster management. Disaster management, we do the disaster management, and we will discuss more in disaster management later. Then the health and care. Sri Lanka Red Cross Society has experience in community-based health. We go to the people at the village level, where sometimes government officials cannot be reached. What we do is we go to the people, we talk to the people, and assist in this community-based health, especially water and sanitation. Then if there is a requirement, then we link with the government officials, especially public health inspectors and the people. We take them into the villages, and we always make the community committee where we believe the community leadership. That is very much important in health sector, especially water and sanitation. Then we have the special area called Restoring Family Link. That is tracing the people that present you see during the conflict or any other activity. Sometimes you may find your lovable person is nowhere, right? Where you have to find him. This is where our tracing system is there. That is, we call it as a restoring family link. In tracing, what we do is we get all the information of the person who is away from the family. We don't want to use the word called the missing person. Because though you use that word called missing, there are certain people we found in the other places. As example, maybe in Sri Lankans, they have gone to another countries, even during the conflict. And especially these days, we do a tracing of the people in Middle East. You see, a lot of people go to the Middle East for the jobs. Especially, we found uneducated people go as a housemates and things. And their family also not much know about the world. Once they go to the new setup, they don't know how to call, how to send the message, and then they think, oh, my wife or husband is nowhere. Then they use the word called missing. This is where the Red Cross come to the picture. What we do is we ask them to give whatever type of information or the complaint they want to put, then we take that. Then we can trace the people easily, because every country is having a Red Cross society. That is where our sister society is helping each other. As example, we'll say the person is in Dubai. Yes, we have the Red Crescent Society. We will send the message. Then the Red Cross volunteer of that country will go to that address and link the family. This is very much important. I would like to make use of this opportunity to tell the listeners, thanking SLBC. Yes, if you have such a case, please come to the Red Cross. If you cannot come to Colombo, each district we are having a branch. Come and give all the information, or else you can give a telephone call. Yes, we are there to help you. We have done it. We will be doing it.
Yes, we know that the Red Cross take part heavily in the disaster management, and in Sri Lanka during the recent past we have been experiencing several catastrophes with the weather changes and so forth. And now, since we do not have the war, the Red Cross is more concerned in the disaster management. So what does the Red Cross do in this disaster management?
Really, Red Cross is we can say, leading humanitarian organization in disaster management, because our strength is our volunteers. We have 25 branches in 25 districts. At national level, we are working with the disaster management ministry and the disaster management center. We are auxiliary to the government. We want to serve for the most vulnerable people. When you look at the district level, district level, we call it as a district disaster management committee. In every district in Sri Lanka, district disaster management committees, they are headed by the highest official of that district secretary. And this is where we have the Red Cross person. Our branch executive officer is member of that committee. When there is a disaster, they meet as a committee, then they decide what to do. Especially at our branch level, we are having the BDRT, that is called Branch Disaster Response Team. And the down level, we have the DDRT, that is called Divisional Disaster Response Team. They are well trained, not only in Sri Lanka, some are trained in the internationally also. They know how to react. And our volunteers, you see, then when there is a heavy rain comes, our volunteers are activated. They always extra vigilant. They know how to find out the river level, right? Then how the indication of the landslide, they are experiencing that. If there is that type of thing, definitely that volunteer will contact our branch BO, that is Branch Executive Officer. Then we get the communication. In turn, they inform the National Society, then we talk with the DMC. The DMC, the Disaster Management Center, also having their own line with the government officials. But still, the Red Cross is working with our own line because we believe always community empowerment is very much important. The villagers, community has to look after their village. The initial support always within the community. That is why our volunteers are in that community. We are trained, we have earmarked the safe access, safe locations, especially most of our branches, they are having a ferries. Then during the flood, they make use of that. Last flood in Ratnapura, Alapata area, about 30 ferries were working really hard. Some branches are having the boats with the engine, especially Gampar district, Gaul district and the Colombo districts. And they make use of these things. You know, government may call the Navy or the security forces, but again, the reaction timing is there. Why not we empower the community at the village level? That is our principles. And especially we believe in the preparedness. We believe in the preparedness. As an example, last flood, we have done an analysis and we have identified safe locations are not enough facilities with the water and sanitation. That has to be most of the time. The safe locations may be at schools, maybe at temples, maybe at Kovil or church, right? But there are limited water and sanitation facilities. These days, we are upgrading, giving the water and sanitation facilities at the earmark safe locations. That is, again, I am saying, is the preparedness is very much important in disaster management.
So when you talk about preparedness, do you also conduct awareness programs during, before a certain disaster happens?
Yes. Red Cross is not waiting for the disaster. In our disaster management policy, there is an awareness. That is why we try to empower the community. We are having divisions and the unit also, that is at the village level, and we do the awareness, what action they should take if the more rain comes, then continuous rains happens, then how to look into the water level of the river, how to go to the safe location, what is the safe route, and we do the drills also to get out of the disaster as soon as possible.
Now, reconciliation is a word on everyone's lips today. And you, having Colonel 22 years of experience in Sri Lanka Army and also another 12 years with Sri Lanka Red Cross, what does the Red Cross engage itself in for the reconciliation process?
Really, reconciliation goes with our principles, 7 principles, as we discuss. And we believe the reconciliation is not a new thing. Reconciliation always we do. At home we do the reconciliation. With your son or daughter you do the reconciliation, because if someone is coming out with the different ideas or views, you want to make them understand this is the correct thing you make. So we believe the reconciliation should go with the youth. We always respect the youth. The changing the behavior, we have to make use of the youth. Youth are very much important. You not only the youth, you make use of the ladies or women. Because when you look at the conflict, you see the most suffered people are women and ladies, mothers. Mothers, they have lost their sons. Wives, they have lost their husbands. Right? Mother always wants to look after his son. Wife always wants to look after his husband. You see, then if you are talking about the reconciliation, the main important people are wives, mothers, and the youth. We are now, at present, we are working with the youth. We call it as a special activity. We call it as a YABC, Youth as an Agent of Behavioral Change. Right? You must talk to the youth. You must make them understand the youth. You see, again, when we talk about the reconciliation in Sri Lanka, we feel there is a communication gap. The communication gap comes with the language. The Sinhala people, Sinhala speaking people, they are fluent in Sinhala. Tamil speaking people, they are fluent in Tamil. Right? There is a gap. We Sinhala people should learn Tamil, Tamil people should learn Sinhala. But you see, commonly, the Tamil or Sinhala, we all people are learning English because we feel that is important. We need English to go to the international market. But we have not to understand we need either Sinhala or Tamil within our country. That is up to us to make them understand the importance of the language within the country also. We talk about international language. Before that, we must talk about the local languages. Yesterday I was at Mullaitivu. I also feel there is a gap. I want to explain certain things for my Tamil brothers and sisters. Then there is a gap. Someone has to translate. I know a little bit of Tamil, but it's a gap. Then the Tamil people also feel they want to expose their ideas that there is a gap. Therefore, we must understand the internally, we must learn this language. And I feel, again, to get the youth into the picture, you must get the common thing like art, music, dancing, and sports. That is very much important. When you are working with this, there is no language barrier. So I can remember in 2005, soon after the tsunami, Sri Lanka Red Cross Society, we have done a athletic championship meet in Colombo. All 25 districts participated, even during the conflict. Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu, Vavuniya, Mannar, Trincomalee, everybody came. When it's come to the sports, they are same. We can do a lot with the sports, arts, music, and dancing. I will give you an example. We talk about the cricket. We are lovers of the cricket, Sri Lanka. When the Sri Lanka team is winning, everybody is cheering. Sinhala, Tamil, Muslim, everybody. The Murali Dharan is a hero for everybody. Right? Why not we make use of that opportunity? I can suggest we make use of this opportunity. The Sri Lankan cricketers can go and play matches in Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mullaitivu. We can group the district teams where the Sri Lankan players are playing in that districts. Likewise, we are having many more ideas, and Sri Lanka Red Cross Society is considering reconciliation as a very important activity at present, and always that. We welcome our listeners' ideas to reconciliation. We always respect the people.
In Coffee with Dan today, I had Colonel Siddharth Madugalla. He is the Deputy Director General and the Head of Operations of Sri Lanka Red Cross. He has specialized in disaster management and climate change adaptation. With his 22 years of experience in Sri Lanka Army and registered as a colonel, retired in 2005 and immediately joined Red Cross movement with the tsunami operations. He is also the Vice President of the Athletics Association of Sri Lanka. And finally, I would like to ask how these Sri Lankan general public could connect to the Sri Lanka Red Cross Society if they interest.
Yes, that is very good. We are having 25 branches in 25 districts. They can go to the Red Cross branches. In short, the time is limited. I will give my mobile telephone number 077 3261 555. Once again, 077 3261 555 555. I would like to thank Dan and the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation Chairman and Director General and the English Service.
Thank you very much. And we will meet tomorrow again in Coffee with Dan.